Welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. We're at McCall Waterfront Park. This used to be the site of a lumber mill and the city's first steam plant. Right now it's a beautiful park. So glad you're with us on Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Ken Ackerman. Well, 2011 marked the first legislative session to pass an education budget by April. Why is that important? Well, we've asked Shawn Lindsay to come by, Oregon State Representative. Thanks for being with us. Education budget by April, big deal. A lot of people don't know that. Why?
Well, that's one particular thing that I campaigned on, and that was the education budget is usually the very last budget that's passed every session. It's used as a political football sometimes, and they usually pass it when they're turning out the lights on their way out. I campaigned on saying, let's have this be the very first budget that's passed before any other budgets. And for the first time in decades, we collectively did that as a legislative body. We passed the education budget by April, and the superintendents are excited about that. They want certainty. Instead of guessing and waiting until August or September or even later to get their budgets, they knew in April what their budgets were going to be, and what they get in certainty allows them time to budget and plan. So I'm very proud of that accomplishment.
You know, you were talking about when you were campaigning. Well, it's come up that you should be the man running for Congress, but you have other priorities right now, right?
That's right, yeah. I was flattered to receive a lot of calls. People were calling on me, encouraged me to run. My wife and I took a serious look at it. In the end, though, congressional campaigns come around every 2 years, but childhood only comes around once. I have a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old, and my daughters need not only quality time with their father, but quantity time. And so I decided to stay here and do my job, what I was elected to do, and then focus on this and obviously be here for my daughters.
I think those priorities are pretty good myself. We're talking about the legislative session and the accomplishment about the school budget. What other accomplishments stand out in your mind? Is redistricting one of them?
Huge, huge. For the first time in over 60 years, the legislature did its job and passed a legislative redistricting plan and a congressional redistricting plan. Seriously, for over 60 years we haven't done that, and what typically happens in the legislative redistricting process is if we fail at our job, if we don't do it, if we can't agree, then it gets kicked to the Secretary of State, and the Secretary of State does it for the legislative. For the congressional, if we fail, then it goes to the courts. The first time in history, Democrats and Republicans came together, and we were both able to arrive at yes, and we did that. I think that's huge because right now we have a special election going on to fill the seat in Congressional District 1.
David Wu.
David Wu. And had we not done that, had we not passed a congressional redistricting plan, that plan would have been tied up in the courts right now, and it would have completely kicked the anthill in this special election. So I'm very happy that we're able to pass it. That gives certainty to voters of Congressional District 1 to be able to fill that seat.
2012, February, will mark the first even-year legislative session. It's a 35-day session. What will that look like? What will the agenda look like in a 35-day session?
It'll be a short agenda, and I'm glad that it is. One marked difference is that in the normal session, legislators can basically submit an unlimited amount of bills. But in this short condensed session, we're limited to 2 bills. And I can hear your viewers applauding right now with that, but we're limited to 2 bills. Each committee can submit 5 bills, but each legislator can only submit 2 bills. And so I think that will narrow our focus and allow us to focus on what's most important to us, and obviously it will allow the session to be very focused on important bills.
Looking back at your first session, we have, say, 20 seconds. You were the first freshman legislator to be appointed to a chair of a committee, a full committee.
Yeah,
you got to be proud of that.
It was unexpected, but I hope that people looked at me. I'm trusting that the co-speakers looked at me and said, "Hey, this guy's someone that he's diplomatic. He can bring parties to yes and build coalitions," and I'm glad that we did that.
All right. Thank you very much, Shawn Lindsay, for being here with us on Comcast Newsmakers. And we want to thank you for being here as well at McCall Waterfront Park. For the crew here, I'm Ken Ackerman. Make it a great day.